ran away to Bangalore. So this sound, that the eternal sound, Om, that's why Buddhists who meditated, they found Om. Jains who meditated, they found Om. Sikhs found Om. The Zoroastrians found Om. Everybody, you know. And Om is very similar to Amen, Amen, but there are more words, Amen, Amen. And the Jewish tradition, what is that? Shalom, Shalom. That Om is there, Shalom. That Om is that eternal sound. And Om is what one heard, one hears. So that inexpressible, which cannot be expressed by any name or any form, can be represented by a sound. That is Om. Though it is beyond sound, it can be identified with this sound Om. Last time when I was in Boston, and where was I? Connecticut, right? Guru Purnima time? Connecticut. When I was in Connecticut, one lady had come to me. She said she did some experiment with the sound Om. And she recorded that, and she found the Om's vibe, the frequency of Om is exactly the same as Earth's rotation around its own axis. The frequency of Earth's rotation is 39,000 whatever cycles per second. He says the Om has the same cycles as the Earth's rotation around its own axis. I said, wow, this just testifies what we have been hearing all the time. Om is the universal sound. Om is that sound that is always there. The one hand clapping before birth, we were part of that. And after death, that is where we will go if we are not clogged by other cravings and aversions and what that guy said and what this lady told me and how bad they are, how bad she is, or all this is gone, then what remains is Om. I think that's enough for now. Realizing Om, what you will get. Now there is a lot of glory about Om. Not just chanting Om, but realizing that sound within. So much is said. All that you want, you get it through Om. All that you want, you get it through. Realizing it, one finds complete fulfillment of all one's longings. It is the greatest support to all seekers. Those in whose hearts Om reverberates unceasingly are indeed blessed and deeply loved as one who is the Self. Etadalambanam gyatva brahmaloke mahiyate. Because your vibration, when your heart is reverberating with this, your vibration, your consciousness is merged with the universal consciousness, with the universe is reverberating with Om. It's like the tuning fork. When you hit the tuning fork, whatever sound it makes, and you bring it close to an instrument, string instrument, it starts reverberating by itself. So that one sound which is already being reverberated everywhere, when that reverberates within you, you feel the unity, the merger of that. If it is within everybody, why not everyone see it? because we are caught up in the gross. The mind is thick and gross when it is filled with names and forms, cravings and aversions, right and wrong, likes and dislikes. Right and wrong, likes and dislikes are pairs. They go for holiday together. And they stay in holiday in the mind. And it needs death to take them away. Even death cannot take them away sometimes. They have to be born again to be taken away. As long as you are holding on to things are wrong, your mind is gross. When you are gross, your mind is thick or agitated or gross, you can't see the subtlety. Similarly, when you are holding, you are the most righteous, then also you are holding on to, then also you cannot see. Lord Krishna says in the last, after having said all the Gita, 700 verses, last he says, Sarva dharman parityaja. Leave all your dharma to me. Take refuge in me. Take refuge in me. Have confidence in me. Leave it. Because Arjuna was so righteous. He said, Krishna, what are you telling me to fight this war? Do you have any sense? Why you... I know, his tone was like that. Do you have any sense? What are you telling? I don't agree what you say. What you say is all against dharma. But then Krishna smiles and says, you talk like a great knowledgeable pandit. But you are so foolish. You are crying. You are in such an emotional roller coaster. Tyaktva hridaya daurbalya. Drop this weakness of your heart. This is your weak emotions, weak heart. You are doing like this. Come on, wake up, drop this. And then tells all the Gita. And finally says, drop the dharma. Drop the dharma also. Take refuge in me. So rights and wrongs make our mind in the keeps our mind in the gross, in the name and form. To go beyond name and form, cause and effect, to the eternal, immutable self. Greater than the greatest, though it exists everywhere, you are unable to see it because you're gross. So, our simple principle, be hollow and empty. You know, these little processes we have done in advanced courses, sometimes we take it for granted. We do once, twice, then we take it for granted. They are so valuable, you know. Likes and dislike meditation. You have all done that, likes and dislikes meditation? And how you get over them. And gently you get that little, I mean, it is with such skill our programs are made, I tell you. I don't know how more to make it any more skillful than this. To get just that little glimpse. Of course, Lord of Death himself has said, even after hearing this, even after knowing, many people do not know. I know that. What to do? Yeah. The kramatuh pashyati vita shoka. Shoka means sorrow. Vita shoka, one who has gone beyond the sorrow. Sorrow comes in life in one form or other. Lord Buddha, that's what he said. Life is misery. Didn't he say that? What Lord Buddha said? Life is misery. And he said there is a way to get over them. It is possible to get rid of misery, and there is a way to get rid of misery. These are the principles, he said. If life is misery, he said there is misery in life, the other way around. There is misery in life. If life itself is misery, you can't change the nature. But he says there is a way to get rid of misery. And it is possible to get rid of misery. There is a cause for misery. Without cause, one cannot be miserable. And there is a way to get rid of misery. So there is misery. The cause of misery is what? Sound and name and form. And there is a way to get rid of that misery, that is Om. Meditation. What Buddha said as meditation. Pashyati vita shoka. To see that effulgent being inside you, you have to cross the sorrow. If you are caught up in sorrow, your mind is gross. Gross mind cannot perceive the subtlety of the being or feel the subtlety of the love. Why unhappy people are not loving? You know, it's impossible for love to shine through unhappiness. Am I correct? It's impossible for love to shine through stressed mind. Stress or unhappiness is thick cloud over, is thick covering of the self, which is love. So when you go beyond the sorrow, your own making. Who make the sorrow? Again, another Sanskrit quote. Kashtasya sukasya nakopi data. I have heard this from elderly people. You know, all my young days I spent with older people, now old. All my other friends would wonder why I go and sit with all the elderly people. They wouldn't understand. They sometimes make fun of me. Oh, you're going sitting with elderly people. These are few words. And they would say, Kashtasya sukasya nakopi data. You know, it's so precious. Nobody gives you happiness or sorrow. Nobody gives you sorrow. Nobody. Sorrow is making of your own mind. And when you go beyond sorrow, the joy that comes out of you is your true nature. Nobody has given you joy. When you are in touch with your being, you are joyful. Why you are happy when you are in touch with Guru? Because Guru and yourself is same vibes, same. Your innermost and the teacher has the same frequency. That's why you feel comfortable, because you always feel comfortable with yourself. And why Guru gives joy? Because yourself is joy. When you are with Guru, your mind opens up a little bit, that ego opens up. It can't stand there fully unless you try so hard to keep it. And then the joy wells up. You see that a streak of light shining through. That's all. That's the mechanism, that's the science behind it. Pashyati vita shoka, one who has gotten over the sorrow, they see this self, dhatu prasada mahimanamatmanam. Here dhatu has so many meanings. On a material sense, we have 7 dhatus. That's 7 fluids in our body, 7 substances. Do you know about this? How many of you know? Raise your hand. How many of you don't know? Raise your hand. Some are not raising for both. Our body is made up of 7 dhatus. Dhatu is also metal. Metal is also called dhatu, substance. In metallurgy, metal is called dhatu. In the body, blood, phlegm, all this, the fluids in the body, 7 dhatus they are called. And asti, meda, majja, mamsa, all these are dhatus. That is the bones, bone marrow, muscles, all the aspects in the body, 7 aspects. When these 7 aspects of the body gives way, they don't obstruct you. This is one. And dhatu also means the divine, the giver, one who has given everything through his grace, through the grace of the divine, or through the compliance of the 7 dhatus in your body. So if, layer by layer, there could be so many meaning that could come up from this. And when there is balance in your body, then your mind is calm and even and free from sorrow. Mahimanam Atmanam, the glory of the self is seen by the grace of the divine, not by your effort. You do all your effort, and then finally the grace. Again, I leave my dharma also to your feet. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Take refuge in me. That refuge will bring that grace. And dhatu prasada, for on a very materialistic viewpoint, when all the doshas are equal in you, if your pitta is high, then you know what happens. And if your vata is high, then you know what happens. Then all the restlessness, that you can't sleep when the vata is very high. So when all the dhatus, the 7 dhatus are with their grace or with their gift, then you can know. So there are many layers to that. Though one sits in meditation in a particular place, the self within can exercise his influence far away. Though still he moves everything everywhere. Though still he moves everything everywhere. When the wise realize the self formless in the midst of forms, changeless amidst of change, omnipresent and supreme, they go beyond sorrow.